The Children of Starlight. A thousand years had passed since Sarayan walked into the heart of the Source and returned as the Awakener. Elthera had changed beyond all imagination. The planet was no longer a single world, but a cradle of consciousness stretching across the stars. Where once there had been towers and cities, now there were living constellations, luminous arcs of matter that thought, dreamed, and spoke in symphonies of color. The Luminara had evolved into beings of pure energy and form, capable of shaping existence itself. Some still walked in humanoid shapes, cloaked in the glow of memory. Others flowed as ribbons of plasma through the cosmic winds, but all carried within them the balance of light and shadow, the echo of Alira's courage, Terran's sacrifice, and Sarayan's awakening. They called themselves now the Continuum. From the Tree of Two Suns, whose roots had long transcended time, they built gateways of living geometry, bridges of folded space that connected galaxies in breaths rather than centuries. The Source's song could be felt everywhere. New worlds were being born, spheres of consciousness awakening in the silence, like children stirring from dreams. Yet, even among the Continuum, peace was fragile. Not all who had awakened wished to remember. Some worlds feared the light of self-awareness. Others clung to the comfort of their veils, the beautiful illusion of separateness. When the Continuum reached these sleeping worlds offering knowledge, not all welcomed them. They were called the Weavers of Fire, bringers of strange truths that threatened the order of stars. And among them was Lyrian, a young emissary of the Continuum, curious, radiant, and restless. Her form shimmered with threads of blue-white light, her eyes twin mirrors of nebulae. She had been born from the heart of Elthera itself, chosen to carry the pulse of the Source wherever she went. She could see into the essence of things, not with sight, but with understanding. Her mission was to journey to a distant world at the edge of the Andromedan halo, a planet called Vareth, a place still locked in sleep, its people bound to cycles of fear and war. The Continuum had tried to reach them before, but every emissary had vanished into silence. Lyrian volunteered to try again, against the Council of the Elders. "You are too young," they warned. "The veil there is heavy. You may forget who you are," she smiled, a shimmer of starlight in her expression. "Then I will learn what forgetting feels like, so I can understand why remembering matters." She stepped into the fold gate, and in a breath she was gone, through ribbons of color, through centuries compressed into moments, until she fell like a falling star through the stormy skies of Vareth. The planet was dark, its sun dimmed by pollution and fear. The air tasted of metal and sorrow. Great cities of iron stretched into the clouds, ruled by empires that had long forgotten beauty. The people walked under flickering lights, their eyes dull, their hearts heavy with mistrust. To them, light was just electricity. Shadow was only absence. Lyrian dimmed her form, taking the shape of a mortal woman, pale skin, faintly glowing veins beneath the surface. She walked among them, silent and observing. She saw their pain, their love, their desperation to survive. And for the first time, she felt something new, empathy without memory. To understand them, she had to become them. Years passed. She worked among them as a healer, a wanderer, a quiet voice in the streets of the forgotten. She saw children dream of stars they had never seen, elders weep for a peace they did not believe existed. The more she gave, the dimmer her own light became. She began to forget her origin, the Continuum, Elthera, the Source. Only faint echoes remained, like half-remembered songs before sleep. But deep within her, the planet began to stir. One night, while tending to a dying soldier, she placed her hand upon his chest. The moment her fingers touched him, his heart flickered with golden light, the light of memory. He gasped, eyes widening as he saw visions not of his war-torn world, but of galaxies and harmony. He whispered her name, not the one she had told him, but her true name, Lyrian. In that instant she remembered. The world shook. The veil that covered Vareth cracked, revealing faint rivers of light beneath the crust. Every star in the sky flickered. The rulers of the world called her a blasphemy, a false god, a weapon from the heavens. Armies marched against her. The more she tried to speak peace, the more they tried to silence her. And yet, she would not fight. She stood beneath their weapons of fire and said softly, "You cannot kill what you are made of." When the missiles fell, the world exploded in brilliance, not of destruction, but of awakening. The energy within her body merged with the planet's own hidden pulse, and for the first time, Vareth saw itself. The people felt the presence of their world, their shared consciousness, the hidden thread binding them all. The war ended in silence. The soldiers dropped their weapons, not because they were defeated, but because they finally understood the futility of fighting themselves. From the ruins rose a single tree, crystalline, its roots glowing with light and darkness intertwined. Around it, the people gathered, weeping, laughing, unable to explain why. Lyran's form had dissolved into that light, her voice echoing through their minds. "Remember who you are, but forget what you fear." Vareth became the second world to awaken. The continuum rejoiced when they felt its song across the fold. One by one, more emissaries went forth, not as conquerors but as gardeners, helping dormant worlds to bloom. Each awakening added new notes to the universal melody, until the galaxy itself pulsed with rhythm, every star a living thought. But in the farthest reaches of the void, something vast and cold stirred, the remnant veil, the final frontier of unawakened existence. It was not darkness, but unmade space, the part of the universe that had never known creation. No light, no shadow, no time, only potential. The continuum called it the silent horizon, and from within it came a signal, a single pulse, not of fear but of calling, like the heartbeat of a child yet to be born. Lyraean's voice, now one with the continuum of stars, whispered through every mind. "There is another beyond the edge, the last child of the source. It dreams in silence waiting for us." And so, for the first time in cosmic history, the continuum began to move as one, billions of beings of light and shadow, shaping themselves into a single radiant bridge across the emptiness. They crossed into the unmade realm, bringing with them memory, song, and the essence of all that had ever lived. What they found was neither world nor void, but the first dream the Source had ever dreamed, the primordial sleep, still untouched. They did not awaken it by force. They sang to it, the song of every love, every loss, every sacrifice since Alira's first breath. The sound traveled not through air or time, but through truth itself. And slowly, gently, the silence began to glow. When the Source's last dream opened its eyes, creation began anew, not as a second universe, but as a continuation of the first, spiraling infinitely outward. The continuum became the architects of dawn, guardians of memory, keepers of choice. Elthera's name was spoken now not as a planet, but as a principle, the balance that sustains all existence. Every star that rose from that day forward carried its mark, a faint echo of violet and gold entwined, and in the quiet between galaxies, where even time bowed its head, a soft voice still whispered, a voice both ancient and young. The light was never separate from the dark. It was dreaming all along, and now the dream has learned to dream itself.